Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd. I'm your host Mikey. Today we're going to learn how to do the Zig Zag Pip Stitch using a scarf pattern that I've developed for you. This here is a really interesting stitch. I've never done it before, and I've already created a sample that I've shown you on screen. And we're going to be using Red Heart Granny all-in-one square. So Granny all-in-one square, and this is called Grande. And what this does is this creates an actual granny square, but maybe you bought this yarn and you're not so convinced on it anymore, and maybe you want to do something different with it. The color and layout of this kind of product is really interesting because the first part is a different length than the next part, and so on and so on. So it'll be changing colors as it wants to. So it's an easy way to be able to use one ball, one scarf. Your scarf is about 86 inches long, using a 5 millimeter size H crochet hook in order to play. So I'm going to show you how to do this stitch. It is a stitch repeat of 4 rows, and we're going to get into it right now. If you like the diagram, you could just follow the information link on there, and that's in the video description as well as a pinned comment. If you'd like to change the size of this particular scarf, if you want to make it kid size, it's multiples of 4 chains plus 2, so you go 4, 4, 4, and then when you're finally happy with the length of it, just add 2, and you'll have the balance in order to do this pattern. Let's begin. So let's begin. People are going to ask me what the color is. It's called Sterling. I was kind of curious about this one here because it's more of a monotone, and I'm going to create a slip knot to begin. And the pattern tells you to chain 302, but if you would like to change the size, it's multiples of 4 plus 2, so 4, 4, 4, and add 2 at the end. And that's what I'm going to do for the swatch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's just say I'm happy with the length of this. I'm going to add 2 more, and that will keep the balance of your entire project so that you can do the whole thing. And that's going to be coming up next for row number 1. So row number 1, we're going to go second chain from the hook. I'm recommending that you go to the back hump of the chain. It'll look nicer. So there's the first one, there's the second, and just grab the back hump, so turn it around and just get the back hump of the stitch and single crochet. Then you're going to chain 1, skip the next chain, and go to the second one over. If you go to the back hump, you can see it a lot more clearly. So once you do the first back hump, the chain will stay turned upside down. So chain 1, skip 1, single crochet in the next. And you're going to do that all the way across. And this yarn is going to change color when it feels like it, which makes it kind of addictive to see how it's going to work out in your hands. Okay, so just do this all the way for row number 1. I'll see you at the end of the row. For those that are now ready for the end of the row, I'm coming up onto it. If your counts are right, when you chain 1 and skip 1, you're going to have just 1 stitch left after you've skipped 1. So skip right there, and that is the end of the row. So now you'll be able to turn your work and begin row number 2. Rows number 2, 3, 4, and 5 is the repeat for the whole thing, and you're going to begin row number 2 now. We're going to do what is called as a beginning double crochet 2 together. How you do that is you're going to chain 2. That will count as your first double crochet, and I need you to come into the space, the chain 1 space that's next, and just double crochet. So this is considered a beginning double crochet 2 together. So the chain 2 plus that makes it a 2 together stitch. We're now going to start working our way across. You're going to chain 1 before you move on, and you're going to use the last space that has been used already, and then the next space after the single crochet, and it's going to bridge over the 2 of those. So to do that, it's a 2 together double crochet. So just wrap the hook, come into the last stitch where the last leg of the stitch is, yarn over, and then pull through 2 and hold it. Come into the next space right here that I'm wiggling, and you're going to start with the double crochet again. So just wrap and come in through, and pull through 2 and hold. Once you see the 3 loops, you know that you're about to finish, and you're just going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And what that's done is it's done a 2 together using the last space and then the new space. And then you're going to move on. To move on, you're going to chain 1, and then you're going to use the last space where this leg of the stitch was in, and then the new space. So just wrap the hook. It's a 2 together. Coming into the last space used, pull through 2 and hold. Come into the new space, yarn over and into the new space, pull through 2 and hold, and now you see 3 loops back on the hook. Pull through all 3. So chain 1, use the last space and then the new space, 2 together, double crochet. Once you see the 3 loops, pull through all 3 and keep on going. So chain 1, use the last space the same as the last one, and then the new space to move on. And then pull through all 3 loops. So yarn over, so to chain 1, and then keep on doing that all the way across. So because this is the first color, you're going to notice that it won't get all the way to the end of the row, and it will be changing by the time you get there. So make sure you just chain 1 in between each one of those. If you want to put me on hold, I'm going to show the ending of this row in just a few seconds. If you like to see how the end of the row finishes, you're going to chain 1 and you're going to come into the last 2 spaces. So you're going to see this one, this is the last leg, and you're going to do a 2 together using that one and then the last space that's available. And then you're going to chain 1, and then you were going to use the last space where the leg is in plus the last single crochet as a 2 together double crochet. So going into the last space that was just used and then coming into the very end. And pull through 2 and hold, and then pull through all 3 loops to finish. So you can see it's a bit of a dense stitch. It's very much like your host, dense. And then we're going to move on to row number 3 next. Turn your work for number 3. Let's begin. As you begin, every other row is a single crochet row, but they're not the same. So rows number 3 and 5 are not done the same way, but they're very similar. It's just how you start them changes. So you're going to begin row number 3, so just chain 1 to begin and single crochet in the top of the 2 together at the beginning. You're going to single crochet into the next space. And then the fun and the quickness then starts for the remaining of the row into the last 2. So you're just going to chain 1, skip the next 2 together, double crochet, and go right into the space right after it, and single crochet. So chain 1 and just go to the next space. Chain 1, skip 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 to the next space. And you're going to keep doing this all the way to the end. So chain 1, you're going to come into the last space that's before the ending. And you have a 2 together double crochet that's at the end. You're just going to plop in a single crochet right into the top of that stitch. So just recall that on row number 3, the first 2 stitches are single crochets before you start jumping over stitches. And if you can remember that, it'll make your life easier. Let's turn your work and move on to row number 4. So let's begin. We're going to chain 3. That'll count as your first double crochet. And you're going to do a 2 together double crochet using the first stitch where this is coming out of. So it's the first stitch of the row and then the next chain 1 space. Do not chain 1 before you do that. So you've already chained your 3 as your first double crochet. Just going to reach on over it right underneath and then to the space and do a 2 together double crochet. Now you're going to work your way across with what you already know. So you're going to chain 1, use the same stitch as the last leg, and then the brand new chain 1 space. So just use your spaces. And when it changes color, that's what makes it really interesting. So chain 1, use this space. Oh, look at that, just change color. And keep doing that all the way across. So it's just the starting and the ending of each of the rows that makes the difference. So that the zigzag can change locations just by 1 stitch, which makes it really impactful. So if you're ready to go on to the very final, I'll show you how to finish. So we're going to chain one before we start, and we're going to use the same chain one space as the last leg, and we're going to use the very last stitch for a 2 together. But we're not quite done. Do not chain one, just double crochet back into that same space where the last leg is in. And that will keep your edges beautiful. And turn your work, and we're going to move on to row number 5. Row number 5, we're going to chain up 1, and we're going to do the single crochet again, but it's going to be slightly different than what we've known it before. So we're going to single crochet into the first one, and we're going to start immediately jumping over the stitches that are full. So chain 1, jump over the 2 together, double crochet right here, and go right to the chain 1 space. So last time on row number 3, we had 2 single crochets in a row. This one is just the first one, and then we start jumping. So chain 1 and just go into the spaces all the way across. It's these single crochets that are going to make the huge difference for you and the way that your pattern will look. And it breaks up the colors that's underneath of it as well if it's a different color. Like you see how the cream is going into the taupe color here. When you get to the end of the row, you're going to chain 1 before you finish, skip the last double crochet 2 together, and just go into the top of the chain 3 to finish. And all you have to do now is go back to row number 2 and just go 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. You're going to repeat the cycle 2 more times. So you'll do rows number 2 to 5 one more time, and then again one more time after that, and then you're finished. You can apply your fringe then to the end of the single crochet rows if you'd like to do that. I used up pretty much almost all the ball of yarn that I didn't have enough for the fringe, so I just grabbed another secondary Red Heart Super Saver to make my fringe, and of course we have tutorials available on how to do that. So it's a really nice, easy pattern to be able to follow, and it's a winner chicken dinner. Let me know how you did in the comments below.